It's too many people. People grown, man. You know for a fact that Mia J, she got too many people in her corner. Key Glock not going. I know everybody look at the fact that Big Juke was the main one who told Govan to do what he did. But Govan had the intent on getting Young Dolph out the way, regardless of what was going on, even if he was getting paid or not. I want y'all to know, man, when a person is envious of you and they don't like you, they'll do everything in their illest intent to get you, man. I want y'all to know one thing. Makita Raven, them, they looking at everybody in this whole situation as if it's gonna just pass over. It's not gonna just pass over. At the end of the day, we know for a fact Young Dolph was the main one who had these people in order. I want y'all to know that everything that they did is out now. And I want y'all to really pay attention to what's going on, because these people sit back looking at everything as if it was a game. No, look at what's really going on, y'all.
Gotti's restaurant, man. They got him. They looked over the camera footage and everything, and they saw all they needed to see. It really, Blac Youngsta, he's already hiding, and he don't got really no way to get out of the situation. So that's why he's giving up. And the whole reason behind why, like, he was mad in the first place and everything was because he's supposed to be getting kicked off the label. Like, he's supposed to be dropped from CMG. They trying to release him because...
And it goes to shows the fact that a person to do something and don't think of what's going to happen after they do what they just did. I want y'all to really pay attention, because Blac Youngsta, he looking at everybody and he basically saying, like, Blac Chyna was the main one right there. She was ready. Once they told her what happened in Makita's, she was ready to give up everybody. And that's why Blac Youngsta instantly snatched the phone out of her hand.
In order for Jay-Z to buy CMG and sell it, he already owns it. In order for him to sell it for the millions, for the 30 mil, then they got to take Blac Youngsta off because of the disses that he was doing to Dolph. Because the new owners of CMG, they don't want to have those songs on there. They don't want to have anything to do with where they're dissing the people that actually got hit up, like, and everything. Is different when it's like they still alive and they just beefing, and that's the song. But the actual disses made after he passed and everything, man, RIP to Young Dolph. That's why Memphis is Dolph land, and there's a lot more Dolph fans than Yo Gotti fans. And, you know, basically, this whole thing, it's like the downfall of CMG. A lot of people was already knowing that there was issues between Blac Youngsta and Yo Gotti, especially after Shondale got caught. Blac Youngsta's best friend, who was riding in the car with Straight Drop and Big Juke, gave the info to bring all of them down. And so after that happened, Blac Youngsta just couldn't believe that Yo Gotti would let his brother just go tell the feds all the info about him and what happened at the Young Dolph situation. And so now at the Privé, when somebody pulled up at that...
I want y'all to know that this is the reason Yo Gotti tried to hold Blac Youngsta back. When Blac Youngsta, he tried to charge at Blac Chyna. He tried to snatch the phone out her hand. And I want to let y'all know, Blac Chyna, she made a whole full, like, turnaround. Blac Chyna not the person she used to be. So you can't come at her like that. At the end of the day, let me know if y'all rocking with Blac Chyna, man.
That's true. They did the same thing with Makita's, where the windows was all broken and everything like that. And they actually got not just one, but two people on the inside. And that's why they knew that Yo Gotti was supposed to be there that night, but he did not show up. And we don't know why. We don't know what he knew, if he knew somebody was going to be there, or if he just comes late. Because Yo Gotti's cousins still live in Memphis. And Yo Gotti still got people in Memphis. And he never moved them to his house in L.A. And so because of that, they were just sitting ducks. Anybody who had a problem with them in Memphis, Charlotte, or anywhere near, they had a chance to see them every single day. And it's not like this is the first time they've been to Privé. They already know that they go to Privé every Friday night. And so they just pulled up on the Friday night at exactly what time Yo Gotti and his peoples usually have dinner. Except the difference is this time Yo Gotti had a change of plans where he went back home last second because he forgot something. And then for him to get a phone call saying that that just happened when he's supposed to be there sitting at that same table. And the thing is that because this is Yo Gotti's people, like, they part of the whole ownership, they got one, it's only one table that they usually use. It's the table number one, to where only the celebrities eat there. Anytime you see a picture of somebody at Privé, they probably ate dinner at that table number 1. And that's the same table that the dudes ran up to try to start fighting the people that's inside, Yo Gotti's cousins. But they try to get them to come outside because they knew that if they got them to come outside, that they'll be able to basically, up the stick and try to do something and rob the guy, try to take his chain.
That's why, in all actuality, we know for a fact that Young Dolph was the main one who basically protected half these people from even getting into the situations that they get into now. This is a result of what they did to Dolph, man. RP Flipper, man. And I know a lot of people rocking with CMG. You at this point, we know for a fact that Big Jook, he's not going to have a good time up in it. They already said that the man is literally sitting right there. He ready to get out. But this goes back to Cornelius Smith. He did the same thing. You can see that he wanted to leave so quick. He started wearing glasses, got his hair twisted, everything. I want y'all to pay attention.
A big CMG chain that Yo Gotti gave him for his birthday. And so one thing y'all got to understand is that they were like, look, we not leaving here without nothing. They know that they might not get a lot of money, but they see that chain. He said, you got to come up off that because of the fact that, first of all, that's Yo Gotti's chain, really. And so if they're there for Yo Gotti, then they just go ahead and take dude's chain because Yo Gotti gave that to him anyways. And so at the end of the day, they're going to be able to flex that and say that they took Yo Gotti's chain and melt that down and go give it to the pawn shops.
Y'all listening?
And then the thing is that Yo Gotti put a tracker on one of the Cuban links on that chain. That's how he knows where his cousin is at all times. And so because some jewelry might actually have a locator chip in it, they do it to Rolexes, they do it to all sorts of things. And so that's how they actually are going to find the people, is because they're going to look at, okay, where is the things that was taken? Where are they at right now? Where is it going? And it's showing them that it's still in the area in Memphis. Like, they just hiding out. They try to leave, and they might try to leave town and dip to Arkansas in the middle of the night and try to ride to the border of Mexico.
Hey, I want y'all to really pay attention to what's going on, because they already said that he had a ticket. Like, I want y'all to understand, man, he had a ticket, man. Like, this man was already planning on getting up out the jam before the feds even came knocking at his door, man. When you doing something illegal, when you get yourself into something, you have to be ready for the consequences. And that's why I always say, hey, throw them 999s in the comment section if y'all rocking with Young Dolph, man. Like, we all know for a fact what's really going on.
Or something, but stopping at Johnny Dang in the way in Texas and try to sell the diamond chain. But then that's when...
Hi, excuse me, miss.
I want y'all to really look at what's going on, because
What if I told you I could get you some money?
It's sad that this had to happen. R.I.P. Young Dolph.
The locator chip in it and ping Yo Gotti to the location, and then Yo Gotti and his feds are gonna come and try to scoop up the two dudes that basically lit up the whole Privé restaurant and hit up Yo Gotti's cousins. But at the end of the day, these dudes was already
facts. Them facts.
Will still stay in Memphis, and so whenever it is, it's like, yeah, I understand that Yo Gotti moved out of his dad's basement and moved to LA once his whole career started taking off. But his dad is still there, and Big Jook still has a bunk bed in the basement. And the fact that they still got their cousins that got the same old place that they live at. Yo Gotti never upgraded them into a mansion or nothing like that. Even though his cousins is the ones who showed him around the city and protected him for a while back when he was beefing with Young Dolph and all sorts of other things, before he had a lot of money, before he ever met Jay-Z. Yo Gotti's cousins was the ones who was making sure that everything went smoothly, because Yo Gotti didn't technically understand every single aspect of the whole game, and so he had to have his cousins put him onto some things. But then all that they did for him in return, Yo Gotti basically has it where he never got them out of that situation in Memphis.
And that's what, and things like that lead people to basically turning on the people who basically grew up with them. I want y'all to understand, man, it ain't nobody who far away. Like I always told y'all, it's the people who close by y'all. If they not 100, it's gonna be something that goes wrong with everything that y'all even involved in. I want y'all to understand, man. It's R.I.P. Dolph for none, man. And some people don't take it serious, man. But we know for a fact that Key Glock was the main one in there. He was in there telling them, like, hold on. Govan was the one who basically, he enforced the hit. Like, I want y'all to look at that, man, because it's sad, because by them even locking them up, man, goes to show that they was already targeted, man. They already watched them. The people already knew that they was the ones who was involved and had something to do with Young Dolph getting sent up. This is why 901 Trigger Trey tried to basically hide out.
In Memphis, and end up getting ran up on by the goons who really are Yo Gotti's ops. They're not his cousin's ops. His cousins don't even have ops like that, because they're not the rappers. They're not the ones who's doing it. Like, they just got regular lives, and so they don't really get into it with people because it brings them no benefit. It brings them no type of, they don't need that publicity because they're not a rapper, you feel me? And so with all that, then that means it's like a 99% chance that the people who showed up to Privé was there to target Yo Gotti, and once they knew, okay, that's his cousin, that's good enough, because most of the time, if somebody slides like that and they don't see the person they looking for, but they do see like family members and best friends of that person, they're not going to waste all that time of them driving up there, getting the sticks and, you know, wearing the all black hoodies and taking the gas money and the other homies that they had with them to do the drill. They're like, you know what, we already here as people that he knows and loves and care about. So they went and targeted that. And that's just the sad reality of being, you know, related or connected to famous people or people that are highly known in the public and that have problems and that are basically always having ops like trying to catch them and dissing people, and they're connected to people that got sent up and the Young Dolph and everything. So anytime you closely related to somebody that's known like that, then you're basically an extension of any type of issues that might be brought onto them. So if somebody was trying to run up on Yo Gotti and they can't find Yo Gotti, they're just going to run up on their cousins and stuff. And that's exactly what happened in this situation.
Exactly.
And Yo Gotti should already know that. Everybody should know this, man.
That's why y'all got to understand, man, this is a revolving door, and a lot of people don't understand or realize that senseless violence leads to people real life going head to head. I want y'all to know that Young Dolph, he wanted to basically have his own part of Memphis that he wanted to basically get money in on this side. He wanted all the people over here to do turkey drives, and he wanted like the little cookie shop. He wanted to help them out. They turned on that man. At the end of the day, man, Blac Youngsta already said that if Young Dolph wouldn't have never been hanging with Yo Gotti, then stop hanging with Yo Gotti and get into it with True La Mafia, you don't know the inside beef that True La Mafia has with Young Dolph.
Rappers these days is that it's basically to where, you know, they'll do all this showboating and dissing people online and everything like that, and they completely forgetting the fact of the part of how all that could come back onto their cousins, their brothers, their sisters, and moms and dads and all that stuff. Because when you really look at it, that happens all the time where so-and-so's cousin gets hit, and this the person and that person's uncle, and so, you know, Yo Gotti's brother and cousin. So you see how it's already happening, and it's just that they don't care. So they were like, you know what?
That's why y'all really got to look at what's going on, man. Pay attention to this, man. And if you not familiar on what happened, Young Dolph, he went into a cookie shop. So on. Yo Gotti had Big Jook, which is his brother. He had Big Jook to pay Govan, Straight Drop, Cornelius Smith, Shondell Burnett, and numerous other peoples to basically run in and run up on Young Dolph and take everything. You feel me? Send him up because the bounty was already placed by Yo Gotti. I want y'all to understand what's going on. This is why Jay-Z basically stand away from him. This is why Blac Chyna instantly, she sitting right there sucking up all the information. Next thing you know, Blac Chyna sitting there looking like, hold on, this getting a little creepy, because You said that Govan ain't had nothing to do with it when really Big Juke was the main one who gave Govan the money, and Big Juke is your brother. I want y'all to really look at this, man, because senseless violence, man. This. Ugh.
You know what? If it's not if they living in a mansion and they living in LA somewhere else or in Miami or whatever, then as long as they're doing that and it's that themselves, they're good. They don't really care about the next person in their family or something like that.
So this is why they go and do what they do.
Hey, as long as nobody's touching me in my mansion, then that's all good, because hey, they hit somebody else up. I guess that's their problem. So a lot of people, they'll think of it differently, and it's just like you got to open your eyes and look at the fact that this whole Privé restaurant was a setup in the first place, man. And it's like, who knows how they got inside the place? If they made reservations for the table next to them or what, or if they snuck in through the back side door, because they keep that back door open when they need the dishwashers to take the garbage out. And it's an emergency exit. It's not supposed to be locked in case of a fire in the kitchen or anything like that, to where they drop a pan where the steak is sizzling and it hits something and everything, the place gets lit up. So they got to keep one of them doors propped open and let the ventilation out too. And so the people knew that, and so they knew the mistakes that Privé was making to make it so that people could walk in there unknown and not have reservations and can just go right up to the table and try to take the bread or take their jewelry or take the food in some cases. And so
I want y'all to really look at what's going on, because everybody know for a fact that Yo Gotti, he walked out because he knew that he was guilty of what he did and the money that he put up. Do you know he could have saved that money and literally did something else with it, gave it to one of his artists? No, he literally sat there and set up this whole thing, man. I want y'all to understand, man. This conjunction led for everybody to turn against Makitas. I know for a fact that Raven sent back looking like, man, I wish I would have never took that GoFundMe and money.
With all that, it's like basically they had weak points in the restaurant, and the dudes that was targeting Yo Gotti knew where the weak points of the restaurant were. So they had a person that always watched what was going on with the side door and what was going on with that back dumpster area where the door is to go and take the garbage out. They knew that that was unlocked. So all they really had to do was wear gloves and the mask to come in and with a garbage bag and make it look like they wanted the workers. Everybody's so busy during the rush of the dinner hour that they don't notice that it's two people in the Privé that don't even work there, but they walking around table to table trying to figure out which one is Yo Gotti's people's. And as soon as they turned the corner from the kitchen into the dining area, they look left and instantly notice Yo Gotti's cousin, because they got the same like shape of forehead and everything like that. And everybody knows, if you know anything about being related to people, is that if you related to somebody, 9 times out of 10, you look alike. You look like the person. And so when they see Yo Gotti's cousin, it looked just like what they expected Yo Gotti's cousin to look like, which is like Yo Gotti. And so they were like, that's him, get him. And that's when they ran up, and basically they started yelling and barking at each other. And that's when the whole manager told everybody to get outside. And they were like, you know what? Yeah, come outside. I bet you won't. And they got him to go outside.
I want y'all to understand, man. Hit the like button if you're new to the channel. If you rocking with Young Dolph, subscribe to the channel. Man, I just want to say RP Young Dolph, free Big Juke, free Shondell Burnett, man.